Good morning, children. Today we are starting the chapter Life Process, Lesson 6 from Class 10, Biology. In this introductory part, we are going to discuss certain relevant factors. For example, what are the differences between living and non-living things? You might have studied there are many reasons why we consider or distinguish the living things from non-living things. You know, the living things respond to stimuli. Living things get simple inorganic materials from outside and construct or make complex organic protoplasmic components. The body of living things shows levels of organization, complexity of body organizations. The organisms grow, repair, reproduce and differentiate. Grow, repair, reproduce and differentiate. The living things respond to the stimuli, and also living things shows movements, body movements as well as the movements of locomotions. In general, these are the main aspects of or characteristic features that distinguish living things from non-living things. But you must study the molecular, most of the movements are visible movements. Okay? Organisms respond to the stimuli. Organisms grow, repair and regenerate. They undergo differentiation and reproduction and development. Organisms grow. Everything we know, but there are invisible molecular movements. Invisible molecular movements that is going on within the body of organism. This is the invisible movement. So what is invisible movement in the living organisms? Invisible molecular movements, right? And in the next aspect, the body of organisms have different levels of complexities of organization. For example, a cell, basically structurally and functionally basic unit of all organisms that form a group of cells together form the tissues into organs, organs into organ system and organ system into organism. That is the complexity in multicellular organisms. But due to the effect of the environment in multicellular organisms, there is continuous breakdown of this organization or complexity. Due to the effect of the environment, there is a continuous breakdown, damage going on in our body. To control, to repair it, we need maintenance, repair work and maintenance work. So, various life processes in our body help in maintenance job so that our body can repair and regenerate. The body organs can repair and regenerate due to various maintenance jobs. Such altogether maintenance job, the simple word will indicate life process. So what is life process? What is importance of life process? Yes. Life process is a group of processes which help in repair and maintenance job of our body. Because our body is constantly undergoing breakdown due to the effect of the environment. In multicellular organism, this type of environmental effect creates a breakdown in the complexities. To prevent it, to control it, to repair it, we should have a lot of maintenance job. Such a group of maintenance job that help in maintaining, repairing and regenerating our body organs. We can say life process. Now there is a question, do all life processes essential for our life? No. Let me tell you, reproduction is not essential. Reproduction is not essential life process. Even without reproduction organisms survive. Mule, bees, male bees survive, mule survive, even unfertile couples survive. So reproduction is not an essential process, but digestion, respiration, transportation and excretion. Understood? Digestion, respiration, transportation of materials, and excretion. These are very important life process. So the question is this: what are the various life process do you consider essential for maintaining life? Yes, the first life process is nutrition, that is digestion, respiration. Transportation and excretion are the various life processes are essential for maintaining the life. Now, the main difference between the unicellular and multicellular organism. You have studied about it. The unicellular organism with a single cell and multicellular organisms like human being has millions of cells. It says that 100 trillions of cells are there in the human body. Now, amoeba, for example, a unicellular organism, amoeba gets food, oxygen, everything from the surrounding medium by diffusion. So diffusion is the process whereby the materials can be exchanged between the unicellular organisms and the surrounding, because diffusion is enough for them to meet their energy requirement. Diffusion, food, that much food is enough, that much oxygen is enough. So diffusion is a very slow process. So that enough for the unicellular organisms like amoeba. Whereas multicellular organisms like human being, diffusion is a very slow process. Since our body organs, you see our body, there are different types of cells. Only outer cells are in contact with the environment, but the internal cells, body cells are not in contact with the environment. So diffusion cannot allow the oxygen and the food to enter into our body. Since in multicellular organism, large number of cells, all cells are not in contact with the environment. So diffusion is inefficient mechanism to bring oxygen and required materials. So we can say diffusion is a very slow process. So since in the multicellular organisms have many cells, this diffusion is insufficient to provide energy as well as oxygen for the survival of the multicellular organism. That's the main question here in the index. Question: why is diffusion insufficient to meet the energy requirement in multicellular organisms? Yes, in multicellular organism there are large number of cells, only outer cells are in contact with the environment, but inside the body the cells are not in contact with the environment. The diffusion is insufficient to provide energy and oxygen to all the cells. Moreover, in the diffusion takes 1 year for the oxygen to reach the cells until the dose. 1 year it will take. That much slow process is diffusion. So diffusion is a slow process. It does not provide energy to the multicellular organisms. Right. Now, you can understand a lot of other differences. When it comes to the nutrition, we are now starting the subtopic nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the process whereby organisms take in food by many ways, through the mouth or through body surface or many other devices. So the organisms take in food and utilize the food for various life processes. The process of taking in food and utilization of the food for various life processes like growth, regeneration, repair, many other transportation and respiration. So the nutrition is a process whereby the organisms take in the food and use the food for various life processes. This you have already studied, but you have already studied one more subtopic, that is the difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. You might have studied about it. What are the difference between autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition? You might have studied about it in the lower classes. Let me tell you some differences about it. The autotroph are green plants. all green plants are autotrophs. Certain bacteria, green plants, and certain bacteria are autotrophs. Autotrophs are organisms which prepare their own food by using carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. You know that, okay? So photosynthesis is the basic step, basic reaction by which autotrophs synthesize food. So autotrophs are green plants. They synthesize food simply by photosynthesis. Whereas heterotrophs do not synthesize food. They get the food directly from the plants or indirectly by feeding other animals or other sources. Okay, so we can say heterotrophs are animals and non-green plants like fungi, mushroom. You know, mushrooms are fungi. They do not synthesize food. Human beings, animals do not synthesize food. They depend on other sources. Directly they take the food from the green plants. Sometimes they take food from animals' body and also other sources. Such nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. Now, as the autotrophic nutrition is the primary source of food for the entire world, entire organism, let's study some points about photosynthesis. You might have studied that photosynthesis in the lower classes, but let me write the equation for that. You know, during photosynthesis, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, okay, combines with 12 molecules of water in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight is liquid, and chlorophyll is there to absorb the sunlight. Chlorophyll taps the solar energy. Right? So 6 carbon dioxide plus 12 water molecules, sunlight plus chlorophyll gives off 1 molecule of glucose. That is C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen plus 6 water. This is a complete equation for photosynthesis. So you can see for forming 1 molecule of glucose. Okay, we need 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 12 molecules of water. This is the situation, right? For 1 molecule of glucose. And glucose, of course, is an unstable compound, reducing sugar. It cannot remain as such for long time. So soon the glucose will be converted to sucrose. Sucrose is made up of 2 molecules of glucose. It's a disaccharide. Glucose plus glucose form sucrose. Then large number of sucrose molecules together form starch. So ultimately, starch is formed from the glucose. That is the storage food in plant. What is called energy storage, reserve food. Reserve food in plant is starch. Whereas reserve food in animals is glycogen. You know, glycogen. So starch is the reserve food in plants, and glycogen is the reserve food in animal. When we eat starch food, then what? It is converted to glycogen. It is also a form of carbohydrate. All these are carbohydrates. Glucose, glycogen, sucrose, starch, sugar. All these belong to the large family of carbohydrates. So you got this. This is the introduction for the chapter life process. Thank you.